My name is John McKeon, and we are live here with Lisa Steckman from LexisNexis. Lisa, you just finished your presentation. How did it go?
I did. I think it went really well. It's very exciting.
Well, let me ask you something. What were the type of questions that you were asked during the presentation?
Well, I had several questions around, now that you're getting a chance to do it again, what are you doing differently? Which I cover somewhat in the presentation itself. But the answer is that you have to stay in the framework and understand the constraints of what you're working with so that you can be more successful and, keep your costs low and keep your users happy. That's my big summary anyway. Well,
that sounds good. Lisa, what do you think most of the questions were, business or technology?
That's a good question. It felt like a, high level technical business mix because most of the questions were around, how does this impact your end user because our strategy is to use the package analytics as is and then also use our enterprise data warehouse for other needs. So, some of the questions were around, well, how do your customers know which place to go to get their information? And so that was more user focused. I don't know if that's a good answer.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I want to know what question made you think the most.
One of the folks in the audience who hasn't implemented it all yet was asking about how to get users out of their comfort zone of using spreadsheets, which is something that we've all dealt with. And I admittedly stole a term that I've heard many times at other conferences called manualytics, which to me is when somebody takes a bunch of information and throws it on a spreadsheet and then maybe they change a few things or add some other data that they think should be there. And so it doesn't exactly give you the truth, but from the user's perspective, it meets their needs and adds more confusion to your environment than it does answer questions. So, he was asking, how do we get people out of that paradigm? And I talked about the platform, which is a little off the subject of the presentation, but I talked about the platform itself has a lot of opportunities to keep people in whatever interface they're comfortable with. So the Oracle BI applications, for example, can be run through some of the Hyperion tools like Essbase, which allows you to stay in a spreadsheet, but still gives you the data governance and the ability to control what data you're delivering to your user.
Lisa, that's interesting. So the title of the talk was Tuning for Maximum ROI and Customer Satisfaction. What do you think came across the best in your messaging about those two things?
Well, definitely saw a lot of reaction to the amount of money we have spent because of the amount of customization that we accepted in our organization. So just the key point that you need to work with what you have. And the analogy I used was you can buy a house or you can build a house. And if you buy a house, the sink might not be where you want it. There might be a wall where you'd like to have a window. But the more you do to change that house into something that you really wanted, the costs start to explode and you could have saved money by just building one from scratch.
Interesting. Lisa Steckman from LexisNexis just had a great presentation. She is here live with us at Partners. Lisa, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.